There is a funny joke amongst software developers that lazy software developers are actually better than software developers who are not lazy. And of course it ties into the not invented here syndrome, where a lazy developer simply doesn't care. So he will look for existing solutions that already solves his problem before he starts coding. And there is some truth to that, and in this video I'm going to show you vibe coding for lazy software developers. So here I am on localhost, and I'm going to be vibe coding an API. So I'm just going to be using the Chinook database, but you can do as you wish in your own stuff. I'm going to go to Hyper-ID, create a new folder, call it vibe coding. Then I'm going to choose this guy, vibe coding. Then I'm going to create a new file, send email.hl. HTTP, it's not an endpoint, hyper lambda executable file that allows for sending an email to email with subject and body. So this way of like referring to arguments in square brackets is a convention, and the LLM probably is more accurately capable of understanding your intention if you write arguments that way. And as you can see now, this code is 100% perfect. So now if I execute it, Thomas at iniro.io, hello, Aldi from Magic, and I execute it, then it is going to successfully become capable of sending an email. I still haven't saved my file. Now that I have verified that a file actually does what I want it to do, I save it. Boom, it's in production. 0.1 seconds, the file is in production, assuming you have a cloudlet with us or you have Magic deployed on your own server somehow. So now let's just de-expand this toolbox. Let's create a new file, get contacts.hl. Executable hyper lambda file taking arguments, allowing me to select items from my Chinook database, and its artist table can only be executed by root accounts. Optionally allows for paging. Let's see. Now it's returning all. Now it's only returning 2 from offset 2. Add pattern matching filtering on name. Add optional pattern matching filtering on name. You see, these are like small change instructions, while the comment I write when I initiate the file is kind of like the gist of the code. But I can also modify the file from here. It's the same stuff that's actually happening. So let's verify that this works. Okay, so now it parameterizes data.read with limit and offset. And then it's parameterizing the and bugger down here, only if name.like actually was provided. So now if we do name k%, it's only going to return items that has an artist name starting with the character K. Now let's try one thing, change my code and include all album records. Use artist ID as your foreign key. This might not work. I'm stretching it. But it actually did work. Include artist ID, yield albums. Yeah, looks good. Let's try it. And now you can see we're getting artists plus their albums, and we can still filter on specific artists. Now getting Kiss and Kid Abela, etc., etc. And let's create another one. Should probably rename this to get artists. And let's create another one called create artists, and it of course needs to be named .hl for obvious reasons. Now let's create a comment for it. hyper lambda file taking arguments, allowing me to insert items into artists table in Genome database. Fields, columns are all optional. Name. Actually, columns are mandatory, and this table only has one column, so it would be stupid to insert a record without providing it. So let's see what this guy does. So it declares arguments, connects, correctly parameterizes the value bugger, and one bug, yield. Thomas Hansen Circus. Now if I get artists, Thomas, it's going to return Thomas Hansen Circus. Now at this point I can easily wrap this into an AI agent and having natural language interface interacting with my database, being able to send emails or whatever I want from my API I need to emphasize. And I coded one line of code. I changed the return word to yield, and that's it. So will vibe coding steal your job? I don't see that happening today, because you still need to know what an HTTP endpoint is. You still need to know what a freaking record is and a database, and you still need to know the basics of software development. For me personally, this makes me like 10 times more productive, and I suspect the same would be true over time also with Barnabas and any other future potential employees we'd have at Ainiro. But it does not replay. If you think you can vibe code Facebook and become a trillionaire, good luck with that. It's not happening. Maybe it's going to happen in a year. I don't even know. Maybe even we'll be able to allow you to do that in a year, but when everybody can do it, and there's not going to be $1 trillion in doing it, right? Because everybody can do it, right? However, it is an incredibly powerful tool. Now realize one thing, which is that before we created our own Hyper Lambda LLM vibe code generator, there was one human being on earth that knew Hyper Lambda, me. Today, in theory, 8 billion people knows the language. Why? Because they can use natural language and in combination with our LLM to transpile their English sentences into working Hyper Lambda code, and that's pretty kick-ass if you ask me.